All right, let's jump right in. We're going deep on a La Liga match, one that's going to have you thinking differently about how the game is played.
Ooh, I like that.
Real Madrid against Barcelona.
The Clásico?
But this was not your typical Clásico. Real Madrid, get this, had a 42-game undefeated streak going into this one.
Wow.
We're talking 42 games.
Yeah.
And we're going by match analysis that we found.
All right.
They called it a Catalan triumph.
Interesting.
And the final score was Real Madrid 0, Barcelona 4.
What?
So that's what we're going to dive into today.
Yeah, how did that happen?
The analysis called it the most exciting match since the Ronaldo and Messi days.
Oh, wow. Okay, so a lot of hype, a lot of buildup.
Yeah, so much energy. And you could tell right away both teams came out, really trying to make a statement. But Barcelona, I don't know, they had this like different energy, a hunger almost.
Yeah, you could feel it even through the analysis.
Mm-hmm. Their coach, Hans-Dieter Flick, he set them up with his crazy high press. They just suffocated Real Madrid.
Flick is a really smart coach, and that high press, that was a brilliant move. They had to disrupt Real Madrid's flow, and that's exactly what it did.
It really did. Yeah.
It forced Real Madrid into making mistakes. And when you give Barcelona a sliver of an opening like that,
Oh, they're going to punish you.
they're lethal.
The article talked about how Mbappe got caught offside 6 times.
6 times.
6 times. He was battling that high defensive line all night long.
And that's that tactical genius we were just talking about.
Yeah.
That Barcelona defense, they were so in sync, so disciplined. They shut down Mbappe's speed, and, he's one of the fastest players out there.
Right.
But it doesn't matter how fast you are if the defense is reading you like a book.
You're just going to run into a wall, basically.
Exactly. And speed, in that case, actually becomes a weakness.
It really does.
Because you're predictable.
Right. So it wasn't just about stopping Mbappe. This was a whole system designed to dismantle Real Madrid's attack.
That's exactly right. They were playing chess while Real Madrid was playing checkers,
Interesting way to put it.
Every move was calculated, designed to force Real Madrid into these predictable patterns. It was beautiful to read.
Yeah. Even with all that, though, Real Madrid did have like a couple of moments in that first half, right?
Yeah.
Vinicius Jr. almost scored. And then there was that Mbappe chip shot, which, again, got called offside.
Right.
So, it wasn't like a total blowout from minute 1.
I think that first half was more of a feeling out process, a tactical dance, if you will.
But then the second half happened.
Second half, that's when Barcelona really turned on the style.
Yeah, that's when Lewandowski decided to show up.
Oh, yeah.
He scored 2 goals, basically back-to-back, and that's when I think the whole momentum shifted.
It's interesting, though. Those goals were more than just individual brilliance from Lewandowski.
Right.
Let's break down that first one. So Casado, he threads this perfect pass that just splits Real Madrid's defense wide open. And Lewandowski, he just ghosts in, senses Mendy's hesitation, and finishes with such precision. It's like he's got ice in his veins.
Wow.
That's Barcelona exploiting space. They created that space with their movement off the ball, and Lewandowski was right there to capitalize.
And then that second goal, there was this beautiful passing sequence leading up to it. De Jong and Rafinha were involved, and then Balde whipped in a perfect cross, and Lewandowski just heads it home.
That one was a team goal all the way. Beautiful build-up, perfect execution. It looked like Barcelona was just playing with Real Madrid's defense at that point.
I bet it felt like that.
That's what makes them so dangerous, right? They can cut you open with these intricate passing moves, or they can hit you on the break with speed and precision.
They're like a multi-tool.
Exactly. They're adaptable, and Real Madrid, they just couldn't figure out an answer.
Nope. And it almost feels like that second goal just broke Real Madrid's spirit.
It's like they just deflated.
Yeah. The article even talks about Lewandowski almost getting a hat-trick. He hit the post not long after that second goal, and you have to wonder what was going through Real Madrid's minds at that point.
I mean, they're up against their biggest rivals. They've got this incredible undefeated streak on the line.
42 games.
42 games, and suddenly they're down by 2.
It's got to be demoralizing.
That's the thing about momentum in football. It can change in a snap, and once a team like Barcelona gets rolling, it's almost impossible to stop them.
But Real Madrid, they did try to mount a comeback, right?
They did, yeah.
There were chances for Mbappe, Bellingham.
But nothing seemed to be clicking for them.
They were just off.
They had a couple of flashes of brilliance, but it was too little, too late. Barcelona was in complete control. They were dictating the pace, and Real Madrid just couldn't wrestle it back.
And then, just when you think it couldn't get worse for Real Madrid, Yamal scores.
Oh, that goal!
A rocket of a shot that leaves Lunin, Real Madrid's goalkeeper, completely frozen.
No chance.
3-0. And at this point, it's starting to feel like a rout.
That goal was just a perfect example of Barcelona's ruthlessness. They knew Real Madrid was vulnerable, and they went in for the kill.
No mercy.
Nope.
Oh.
And the craziest part is they weren't even done yet.
They weren't done yet.
No.
That's right. Rafinha adds to the lead with this beautiful lob over Lunin.
Oh, so smooth.
Inigo Martinez with the assist, 4-0. Game over Real Madrid's streak, shattered in the most dramatic fashion.
You know, it wasn't just about the scoreline. It was the way they dominated the game. Barcelona's tactical superiority, it was evident from the first whistle to the last.
They took Real Madrid's home turf and turned it into their playground.
Exactly. They dismantled Real Madrid piece by piece. It was a clinic.
It must have been brutal for Real Madrid. I mean, after such a long run of success.
It was a humbling experience for sure. A stark reminder that even the best, the most dominant teams, they're still vulnerable. You know, you could feel it. This match, it sent shockwaves through La Liga.
Oh, absolutely. This wasn't just a win. It was a statement win.
100%.
Like, Barcelona is back, and they are a force to be reckoned with. And they did it in such a, emphatic way, ending this historic run by Real Madrid.
Yeah.
So let's look at these player ratings.
Oh.
Because I think the article really breaks down, how this game actually played out, on the field.
Yeah, for sure. And remember, these ratings are subjective, but they do help to tell the story of the game.
Totally. So starting off, the man of the match, it was Robert Lewandowski.
Of course.
He got a 9 out of 10. 2 goals. He was a constant threat. Just a masterclass in finishing.
Lewandowski, he's a goal-scoring machine. I mean, we've said it before.
Yeah.
But it's not just the goals. It's the positioning, the awareness, always in the right place at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes him elite.
Right. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have Lunin, Real Madrid's goalkeeper.
Yeah.
He gets a 3 out of 10. The article said he had a decent first half, but then the second half goals, they really showed some weaknesses.
I mean, he was facing a firing squad out there, that Barcelona attack.
Yeah.
It's hard to blame him entirely, but those goals were definitely preventable.
Right.
I mean, even the best goalkeepers would have struggled against that Barcelona attack.
That's true. That's true. And the article also talks about Lucas Vazquez and Eder Militão. They also had some struggles, especially after halftime.
That Barcelona movement off the ball, it was exceptional. They were pulling Real Madrid's defense out of position constantly, creating those gaps, and then they exploited them with these pinpoint passes.
Yeah.
Vazquez and Militão, they were chasing shadows the entire match.
But on the flip side, Barcelona's defense was like a brick wall.
They were incredible.
Koundé got an 8 out of 10. And he pretty much shut down Vinicius and Mbappe.
Koundé was a rock back there, anticipating passes, winning tackles, just everywhere he needed to be. And that's not easy, to neutralize 2 of Real Madrid's biggest threats.
It's not. It's not at all.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, Balde, he also got an 8 out of 10. He was solid defensively. And then, he provided that crucial assist for Lewandowski's second goal.
He was great, Balde. I mean, he's a young player, but he played with so much maturity, so composed. He was a threat going forward. And that assist was a thing of beauty, that pass.
Yeah, beautiful. And rounding it all out, Rafinha gets a 7.5.
Yeah.
Showing his persistence throughout the entire match. And then, of course, ending it with that, audacious lob goal.
Classic Rafinha. So tricky and creative. And that last goal was just cheeky. I loved it.
Yeah. And this wasn't just a win. It was, like I keep saying, a masterclass.
100%.
The author of this analysis actually called it a public footballing lesson.
It really was.
And I think that's, the perfect way to describe it.
Barcelona showed the world what happens when you combine talent, tactical discipline, and just this, relentless desire to win. They were just on another level compared to Real Madrid.
Yeah, and it makes you think, what are the key takeaways from this lesson?
Yeah.
What can other teams learn from watching how Barcelona played?
Well, I think the biggest thing is the importance of having a cohesive system, right? Every single player on that Barcelona team, they knew their role, they understood the game plan, and they just executed it perfectly.
Yeah.
It was like watching a well-oiled machine.
It really was. And it showed, how powerful high pressing can be.
It can be risky, high pressing.
Yeah.
But when you do it right, it can be devastating.
Right.
Barcelona's players, they were fit, organized, they were disciplined, and they pressed together as a unit, cutting off those passing lanes and just completely suffocating Real Madrid.
And then, of course, you have the individual brilliance within that system.
Right.
Players like Lewandowski, Koundé, Balde, they weren't just playing well individually, They were playing well together.
Exactly. It was a team effort, each
Yeah.
of them contributing to that collective success.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about their individual talent. It was about the synergy, how well they played together.
Right.
That's what makes a truly great team.
Absolutely. So for any aspiring footballers out there, for coaches, this match was like a masterclass in attacking football, defensive solidity, tactical awareness.
100%. And it also highlighted the importance of mental fortitude. Even when they were facing adversity, Barcelona never gave up. They stayed focused, stayed composed, stayed determined, and that mental edge, combined with their tactical brilliance, is ultimately what led them to victory.
And, we always talk about the goals, the assists, those flashy moments.
Yeah.
But it's those, less glamorous aspects of the game, the mental toughness, the tactical discipline, that really makes the difference.
It's the foundation.
It is. And that's why it's so important to analyze matches like this, to go beyond the surface and really understand what contributed to that success.
You got to look at the details.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we try to do here on the Deep Dive.
100%.
Right. We want to go deeper, uncover those hidden insights, give our listeners a much more in-depth understanding.
Exactly. We want them to think critically, to question, to form their own conclusions based on the information.
Yeah. And this match in particular, there's just so much to unpack, so much to learn, so much to discuss. This is not just another game. This is like a moment in football history. This is a match that will be talked about for years to come.
Agreed.
It's not just about the scoreline. It's about how Barcelona just dominated in every aspect.
What's a statement?
It was a statement. And it really makes you wonder, how will Real Madrid respond to this, this crushing defeat?
Right. Will they crumble under pressure?
Right. Or will they rise to the challenge and get back to that top spot?
It's going to be fascinating to watch. It's anyone's game now.
La Liga just got a whole lot more interesting.
A whole lot more interesting.
We've talked about the tactics, individual performances, but what about the mental game? We've talked about the tactics, individual performances, but what about the mental game?
Right.
Real Madrid, after 42 undefeated games, they get handed this crushing defeat.
Yeah.
What does that do to a team?
I think that's where the real drama unfolds, in the minds of the players.
Right.
You got to think about it. You're on top of the world, feeling invincible, and then, bam, reality hits you like a ton of bricks. It's got to be tough, that kind of loss. It can really shatter a team's confidence.
It's like their whole world just gets flipped upside down.
Exactly. And for Barcelona, it's the opposite, right? They just slayed the giant. They proved they can beat the best.
Yeah.
And they did it on Real Madrid's home turf.
Right.
This win, it could be huge for their confidence going forward.
So it's not just about the points. It's like a psychological battle as much as it is a physical one.
Oh, absolutely. The mental side of football is so important, but it's often overlooked.
Yeah.
It's about who can handle the pressure, who can stay focused when things get tough.
Right.
That can make all the difference in a tight race.
Yeah. As we watch the rest of La Liga unfold, it's not just going to be about the talent or the tactics.
Right.
It's going to be about who can maintain that mental edge.
100%. Who can ride that wave of momentum?
Right. This match, it just injected a whole new level of intrigue into La Liga.
It's wide open now.
Anyone's game.
Exactly.
Well, I think we've unpacked a lot today.
We have.
Gone beyond just the highlights, explored the tactics, individual performances, even that psychological impact of this crazy match.
It was a match that had everything. Drama, amazing goals, a bit of controversy.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And this is a match that's going to shape the rest of the season, I think.
No doubt.
Who knows what's going to happen next?
That's the beauty of it.
It is. But one thing's for sure, we'll be here to break it all down.
Always.
All right, so until next time.
Until next time.
Keep exploring. Keep asking those questions.
And as always,
Keep diving deep.
keep diving deep.